Okay, example 1 factor. Let's look at the first expression. We have x squared minus 5x plus 6. I recognize this as a simple trinomial because the coefficient of x squared that's implied is 1. To factor simple trinomials, we're using product and sum. So the product here is going to be 6 and the sum is going to be negative 5. The two numbers that multiply to give us 6 and at the same time add up to negative 5 are negative 2 and negative 3. These are the two numbers that will appear in each of the factors next to x. So my final factored form would be x minus 2 times x minus 3. Okay, let's look at the next part. In part B, we have 36x squared minus 1. I recognize this as a difference of squares because I have two terms, and the terms are perfect square terms. We have the numbers 36 and 1, which are perfect square numbers. They give us whole number answers when we take the square roots. And these two terms are separated by subtraction. To factor difference of squares, I just take the square root of the first term and the square root of the last term, and these will be the terms that appear in each of the factors. So square root of 36x squared is 6x, and square root of 1 is 1. The signs in each of the brackets have to be different. For the middle term to be eliminated, when we expand, these signs have to be different. And you can kind of associate the difference of squares with different signs. Okay. Let's look at the last example. We have 9x squared minus 12x plus 4. I recognize this as a perfect square trinomial. First of all, I have 9 and 4. These are perfect square numbers. Plus, when I take the square root of 9x squared, I get 3x. When I take the square root of 4, I get 2. When I multiply 3x and 2 together, I get 6x. 6x doubled gives me 12x. The sign here doesn't matter. So I know this is a perfect square trinomial, and to factor it is as easy as taking the square roots of the outside terms, just like it was for difference of squares. So each bracket will have a 3x and a 2 in it. Now the difference between a difference of squares and a perfect squares factored form is that the signs will be the same for a perfect square trinomial. And how do you determine if it's a minus or a plus? You look at the sign of the middle term in the original expression. So here we're going to have minuses. This alternatively can be written as 3x minus 2 squared if you prefer.